Bad boy means to me is literally the best of the best. They just put the bad there anyway. It should have been the best boys. We just happen to be bad.
It's a strange world in the NBA. It makes for strange bedfellows.
He takes it out. He puts it up. No good but a foul. And Lame Beer starts the crying act.
We did have a lot of strong personalities.
We had some diverse personalities. We had incredibly diverse personalities.
It was quite a cast of characters.
We had this blue-collar mentality. We weren't the beautiful Los Angeles Showtime Lakers, and we weren't the ancient, very, very well-respected Celtics, and we weren't the smooth 76ers. We had to niche our own, part of this NBA world. And we were able to get together because we realized that without us being together, we weren't going to be anything.
We had to get some kind of persona to compete with these people. And so we became very physical. We wouldn't let people go where they wanted. We got very physical in the post. And suddenly this term bad boys came about. And we enjoyed it.
I mean, we had some chirpers, and I loved it. I enjoyed watching them, how they got two guys and got on the guy's skin, and it was just, it was a trip for me.
The Bad Boys. It was all about attitude, about drawing lines, pushing limits, with toughness and trash talking all around. As for Joe Dumars, well, he too was bad, as in good. Unlike some of his teammates, he just let his play do the talking.
Joe kind of stayed on the side of the bad boys image. We had a lot of personalities that people love to hate, and Joe wasn't one of those.
Imagine you're Chuck Daly, and you're coaching this group. You got Bill Laimbeer, who's one of the strangest egos in the history of the NBA. You got Isaiah Thomas, who sometimes fancies himself as Michael Corleone, a power broker in the NBA. You got Dennis Rodman, who nobody knows from one day to the next what kind of person he is. You got John Sally, who's bucking for a movie deal wherever he turns. And there you have Joe Dumars. Book reading, quiet, do whatever it takes, Joe Dumars. Do you think that there was ever a greater love between coach and player than what Chuck Daly felt for Joe Dumars?
Joe was one of those people. There wasn't any part of the game that he wasn't outstanding in, but he did it so quietly. He never, he was kind of overshadowed because of it, and I think he was satisfied with that.
I give the credit to my style of play to my father and my brothers. They always felt that you could carry a big, big stick and didn't have to talk about it. And that's just the approach that I took, man. I just, I didn't feel like I had to do a whole lot of trash talking. I never did any trash talking. It was no point in it. But I also wanted to send a message that, not here, Chief. Not here.
Joe is nice as everyone says he is, until you got to play against him. You should ask Michael Jordan that one.
He thought well. I mean, he was very smart about his defenses. I think he approaches the game as trying to dissect his opponents and try to find weaknesses or try to force them to do things that they didn't feel comfortable doing, and he introduced certain tricks to make me, expand on my talents as an offensive player. I mean, that's why I consider him the best.
Joe was basically our quiet assassin. We had an array of talent, but Joe was that one, basically the constant around all the time that we knew we can always expect this from Joe. Joe was coming every night.
Nearly every night, the Pistons improved. From 86 to 88, they won 106 games, advancing deeper into the playoffs each year. And in 1989, the Bad Boys reached the game's biggest stage, facing LA's Showtime Lakers in the NBA Finals. With the Pistons leading the series 3-2, they were trailing by 1 point in Game 6 when Joe found himself with the ball and a chance to win Detroit's first ever NBA championship.
Dumars down the middle. Dumars in deep. He throws up a bank of 8. No good. The rebound is off. Free ball. Lakers are going to win the game. The Lakers are going to win the game. 5 seconds left.
I never said a word about that shot to anybody, but, man, I carried that with me all summer long. And I remember saying, if we get back to the finals, I'll never put myself in that position again where I don't make the shots that count.
The Lakers went on to win Game 7 and the title. With that hard lesson learned, Joe faced the road ahead, and he had promises to keep. NBA titles back-to-back when we continue.